Hey guys, come follow me again. We missed a week because I was moving, but here I am in my new backyard. Not that you can really see it that well, but the sun's out on this cold winter day, so I thought I'd sit outside. I haven't set up my study area yet, but that's where I usually be filming from. But from today, you can experience the lovely winter sunshine that we're all enjoying. It's been horrible weather for like a week, so this is really nice. Okay, so this week is 2 Kings chapters 2 to 7. And this is more of Elisha. Now, the story of Elisha, not Elijah, Elisha, he doesn't really prophesy anything of Christ by words. That's not recorded. What these sections or these chapters do, however, is by his actions. They prophesy of Christ, they teach of Christ, and we can learn from that. So we're going to look at some of those things and how that works. But he doesn't so much use words to go preach. He probably did, but it's not recorded. What we do have is what he actually did, and it's shown, and that's another thing that we can learn from. It's word and deed, and for Elisha, what we know of him is all deed. So it's some things he said too, but mostly it's what he did. So let's have a look at it. So we look at chapter 4. Chapter 2 and 3 are good. They just sort of give you the history of where we're going. Oh, my stand's a bit wobbly and it's windy, but there you go. So here we go. Yeah, chapter 4, verses 1 through 7 is one of the miracles that he performs. Is a woman who's a wife of one of the prophets, and he dies, and she's widowed, and she's like, what are we going to do now? This debt is coming, they're going to take everything, we'll be homeless and helpless, and what are we going to do? And he instructs her to go and borrow all the vessels that she can, the empty vessels from the neighbours, and that the little oil she has will be multiplied and be able to fill all those vessels. So there's the miracle, and she's able to sell some of that oil to pay her debts, and then keep the rest of it to sort of live off for a while, kind of like that, money tree that you all wish you had. So that was her thing. But she poured it out, and one of the points here first is to receive a miracle like that, you kind of need to be an empty vessel to begin with to receive it. Gosh, it really is getting windy. Sorry guys. So that was one of the points that sort of came up in study, was that to receive something as amazing as that, you need to be ready to receive it, and to be ready to receive it, you sort of need to be empty to begin with, so that you can take that in. So have room for it, you know what I mean? But I sort of wanted to discuss, what is a miracle to you? Because a lot of people are looking for the big grand miracles like this, like the never-ending oil cruise, or, that magical packet of Tim Tams that we all love that keeps refilling. Doesn't happen. My husband thinks his lolly jar keeps refilling, but that's just me doing it. He still calls that a miracle though. So what is a miracle? Elisha actually never bears testimony of Christ with words, yet his many miracles speak loudly of Christ. In action we see his testimony and teachings. So what do you call a miracle? Miracles are big, small, and in between. I think birds in the garden eating bread that you've thrown out is a miracle. I love watching that. It's a miracle. The birth of a child is a miracle. Being able to afford lunch, I call that a miracle too, in this day and age. So what do you call a miracle? Are you only looking for the big things, or are you looking for the everyday things too? Because they're everywhere. So you're also personal, yet they can often apply to large groups as well. So I personally love the insight into miracles from President Howard W. Hunter that's in the manual. And now I can't remember if this is in the teacher's manual or the Come Follow Me manual. I think it's, I don't know, one of the two. But it's in either one of those for this week. And it says, miracles are the manifestations of God's power, which we are helpless to explain or to fully understand. These signs and marvels were most evident in the life and ministry of Jesus Christ, the very Son of God himself. But startling and wonder-filled as they were, Christ's many miracles were only reflections of those greater marvels which his Father had performed before him and continues to perform all around us. There will always be plenty of miracles if we have eyes to see and ears to hear. Now that's from the May Ensign 1989, called the God That Doest Wonders. Wonderful words from President Hunter. It's amazing. But how can we better recognize these miracles in our life? So if they're defined as those things, manifestations of God's power, which we're helpless to explain or to fully understand. I don't fully understand how birds fly. I know there's science behind it, but it's still kind of miraculous to me. So to me, that's a miracle. I don't quite understand how we quite got this house. Like, I know it happened, but I'm still reeling in the whole we live here thing. Can't believe it. It's pretty cool. We still think we're away at a holiday home somewhere. Yeah, there's things that need fixing and it's not perfect, but it's still a pretty damn good miracle to me. I love it. So there you go. Elder Holland, he said, believe in miracles. I have seen so many of them come when every other indication would say that hope was lost. But hope is never lost. And I think that's true of a lot of our journeys recently, where people say, oh, that's not going to happen, that's never going to be. I've got a friend who's quit her job with the hope that the Lord will provide a new one, because this one was just causing her so much distress. And there's a church job popped up working for the church, and I'm like, that's perfect for her, and she's going to apply for that. Maybe she'll get it, maybe she won't, maybe she's meant to work somewhere else. But it's part of that trusting, and that people will tell you that indication. See, every other indication would say that hope was lost. Hope is never lost. The miracles are out there, people, and look for them. People will say that miracles are dead in this day and age. No, that's because they're looking for things like turning water into wine. And it's like, well, no, but the fact that you have clean running water in your taps, that's kind of cool, in your house. You don't have to go outside and take it from a well. One of my miracles, when I was unpacking the other day, I found the extension cord that I had to use in my old house to get power to the toaster and the jug in the kitchen, because none of the electrical points in the kitchen actually worked. I had the extension cord from in the dining room through so I could toast. Put some bread in the toaster so I could toast bread. Not toast, I toast bread. And I just paused and looked at that, and like I never want to forget how miraculous it is now that I don't have to do that. To me, that's a miracle. I can't quite explain how I got to this point, except to say that God made it so. So there you go. Here's my testimony of that. But miracles are out there, big and small, personal, applying to a group, every day. Just look for them. Ask to see them. They're there. Alright, so that's my first insight. We're going to stay in chapter 2. We're going to look at verses 9 and 10, because we're talking about another lady who's super cool, one I really love. Alright, I'll see you soon.